I'm Garek, and this is my Eve blog. What I'd first like to talk about is the MMORPG.com interview with CCP Soundwave. CCP Soundwave is the lead game designer. What he revealed was that for the next winter expansion, there should be ship rebalances and resource allocation. As for the resource allocation, he describes Eve as being a happy fairyland where, well, people are making way too much money and it's not as dark and dreary as what Eve should be. As for the ship rebalances, I believe the CCP Tourist is looking into super caps, the CSM minutes, Titans aren't going to be touched. Super caps, the motherships are probably going to be done up. What we do know is that CSM did want them to put a fighter bay that will be separate from the drone bay. As for what they'll be doing with the super caps is unknown. The reason why they won't be doing the Titans is because they feel like that there's other ships that are being less used in Eve that needs to be rebalanced. The ones that aren't being used as much are the E-War frigates. Now, according to statistics, the less people are flying E-War frigates than there are people flying Black Ops or flying Titans. Now, there's something wrong with the game if people aren't flying 16mm ships, where more people are flying 60mm ships. Okay, as for the CSM minutes, what we can tell from the CSM minutes is that the whole minute thing is very vague, probably intentionally vague, if you compare them to last year's minutes, which actually had summary points, action points, so after every single section of the minutes there was a what CCP thought, what the CSM thought, all in nice clear dot points. This is probably done because CCP doesn't want us to complain about stuff, or perhaps they haven't got what we want to hear in the CSM, so they've left it quite vague. But what we can tell from the CSM minutes is what was confirmed in the interview about the super caps being rebalanced. Rebalanced how? Do not know. They will be looking at E-War frigates. That's what the CSM minutes point to. The E-War frigates, less people are piloting them than Titans, which is an odd statistic. So they'll be looking at those ones. They won't be rebalancing Titans, even though there is quite a need for Titans to be rebalanced. I've spoken with a couple of people, and the major problem at the moment for Titans is that Titans aren't being used to kill off capitals, or they're not being used in the way that they were intended. In fact, they were being used to essentially DD logistics and command ships. Another interesting point about the CSM minutes was a mention of a unified service layer to allow a web interface via the API. While that's not interesting by itself, what is interesting that they mentioned that this feature could be used to buy items in Eve through a web interface. Now, while that sounds fairly interesting as what we can do with the API, what's worrying about it is that what people who create bots can do with it. Now, whether or not a bot can buy and sell stuff off the market and change market orders is yet to be seen, but if they can change their markets order every 30 minutes, there will be a massive disadvantage to us who make money off the market, who can't be playing 24/7 as opposed to what a bot can. Hopefully they don't implement this feature, at least not to the extent where bots could use it. The next thing is the Eve is real share your content thing. what they're doing is they're encouraging players to post pictures, videos, propaganda, and such to a EVE website, where it will all be used as a viral marketing campaign. What they will, how they're encouraging is they're offering a arrum reward for posting. If you're not quite sure about arrum is the in-game currency for the next store. What's worrying about this is depending on how much arrum they give, they may give so little that, well, it's not worth our time, or they'll give just enough to get close to buying a market item, just to give us an incentive to buy a Plex and rip us off, of course. I think that's about it for today. Fly safe, guys.